Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to some more Apex. I hope you're having a very good day. As always, we're going to be talking about the art of mind games in Apex Legends, and you may not know what I'm talking about, but I've seen so many videos on YouTube of people actually talking about gun skill in Apex and how to get the best gun skill, how to aim really good, how to really take advantage of the movement in Apex and stuff like that. But I don't really see a lot of videos talking about how to really manipulate your enemies and how to win so much engagements in Apex off of just using mind games. So I wanted to come today and actually make this video because I think that Apex is kind of like 50% gun skill and having great aim and obviously having great movement and stuff, and the other 50% I think is about knowing how to manipulate your enemies, how to confuse your enemies and win gunfights like that. So if you guys are ready, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, let's talk about mind games in Apex. So I was trying to like give you guys 3 solid tips on how to actually improve your manipulation in this game, but actually you have to develop this by yourself because obviously every single situation in Apex is going to be very different, and you have to be able to recognize, how an enemy is playing, like their playstyle, and how to take advantage of that playstyle to make you win that gunfight, if that makes any sense. So I can't really give you guys any solid tips on how to improve your mind games or your manipulation in Apex, but what I can do is give you guys some simple practices to actually help you develop your mind games in Apex and how to really confuse your enemies and just overall make them look dumb if you really want to. So first of all, guys, I think one of the most simple things you can do in Apex, and honestly any single like multiplayer video game, any battle royale game, is to act confident. Even if you might not be, you might be the most crappy player, the most just like insecure and scared player on the map, but if you just act confident and like, I don't know, just don't move too shy, because honestly guys, you can really tell if someone isn't that good. If you look at every single player in this game, you can honestly tell who is good based off on how they're just like moving in the game. Like they'll be crouching a lot, moving very slowly. So just have some faith in yourself, try to actually act confident, and by doing so you would actually become confident over time. When an enemy sees someone who looks like they know what they're doing, they become very nervous and they also become kind of scared. So you want to act confident in every single game you play, even though you might not be, and you can actually practice this by like engaging in more gunfights, going for the first shot, throwing more grenades, being more aggressive. There's so much things you can actually do to kind of like make the enemies think you're a very confident and good player, and that actually tricks the enemy into behaving a lot different as well. Because if I see someone who's very aggressive and is landing shots and just like shooting me all the time, I actually would tend to take that player a lot more seriously, and I would just play a lot different. So it does work, it does honestly affect how your enemies play, and this is a mind game. This is a very simple mind game that anyone can do. Trick your enemies into thinking that you're very good, and they will play differently as well. So that's one thing that you guys can do to actually, develop your confidence in this game and just use mind games against your enemies. Another tip I want to give you guys is always do the opposite of what the enemy expects you to do, and you can actually see this in so many pro players gameplays, in so many streamers as well. Because if the enemy predicts what you do and you actually do what they predict that you would do, most likely you will be in some trouble. But if you do the opposite of what they expect you to do, you can actually kill them very easily. So let's just say that someone is shooting you, right? Let's just say you're caught off guard and you're running away, right? One of the most simplest forms of doing what the enemy doesn't expect you to do is turning around, like behind the corner or something, and engaging them, because most enemies will think that you'll be running away to try to heal up and stuff. But if you actually just flip the script and turn around and just engage them, they most likely will not be prepared and they will take substantial amounts of damage. So that's honestly just one scenario where you can do the opposite of what's expected, but you can actually do this in every single gunfight you come across. Just really take some time and think, what does the enemy think I'm gonna do? And do the exact opposite, because that's how you win gunfights. That's how you honestly just outplay your enemies on a different level. Like when you do the exact opposite of what's expected from you, you most likely will have the upper hand on the enemy. So use that, guys. Try to actually kind of like try to analyze every single gunfight you're in and think to yourself, how can I do the unexpected? And do just that, because you will really surprise the enemy and you might actually win that gunfight if you do that. So yeah, honestly guys, there's so many different ways to really use mind games against your enemy. When I first started playing Apex, I took like a 3 or 4 month break and I came back with season 3, right? And my gun skill wasn't the best, my aim wasn't the best, my movement wasn't the best as well. So I kind of relied on using my mind games against the enemies to win so much gunfights, and it actually worked. It worked a lot. So if you guys don't realize this as yet, Apex is very much about using your mind and using your brain and outsmarting your enemies and just being overall a much more smart player. So it's not always about the best gun skill and the best aim and the best movement. It's also about having the best brain in Apex. So believe it or not, I've seen so many pro players pull off some insane plays basically because they've confused their enemy, manipulated their enemy, and they've just completely destroyed them by playing with their mind. So if you guys really want to improve in Apex and you really want to take your skill to the next level, you should definitely take into consideration using some tactics like this and kind of using mind games to just completely destroy your enemies. So that's this video guys, that's my video. Always use mind games, always try to confuse your enemies, and you will see a lot more success on a whole in Apex. So thanks for watching guys, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in some more Apex videos. Till next time.